Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to A Pilot's Life. We're going to be flying Arctic 5174 today on the way from Fort McKay to Edmonton. Or I'm sorry, Arctic 1749. I made a mistake there. So nice snowy day in Fort McKay. Still a bit of the challenge that we have here. So we've got our alternate or our other livery that's available for Canadian North here. So a little bit different. Got the polar bear on the back, I like that. And on the engines too, that's pretty cool. Alright, so the challenge here at Fort McKay is there's not really anywhere to work here. There's no terminal. It's a very small airport. But obviously this airline flies here. So I believe I've got the banner up this time. I think last time I may have messed up and forgotten. Certainly did that in one of the more recent flights. We're going to be flying to 36,000 feet as our cruise altitude, and given this is an untowered airport, I don't know that we're going to get a whole lot of direction here. It doesn't mean ATC won't come in at some point. But let's get data from SimBrief. So you can see there is our flight plan. We are taking off, I believe, on runway 35 and landing on runway 10. So let me get the APU going here. Well, actually, I need to start my my self-loading cargo. So let's see. So we're going to have to figure out, let's see, let's get the one door open so we can get the crew on board. Should be loading in about 16 minutes, but then they're saying that we're about 40 minutes to departure. So we'll see how that all goes. This is always the challenge because I kind of want to start here, but I can't. Like, part of this is getting the APU going, and aircraft loading shouldn't be starting for almost 15 minutes, so I may cut pieces out here. We'll have to see. So we'll get the flight plan requested. We're going to set the payload, we're going to set the fuel, as we normally do. Alright, route should be coming in. Looks like we're expecting, according to self-loading cargo, we're expecting about 127 passengers. Not about. You definitely don't want to be guessing how many people you've got on board, especially if you have some sort of a problem. But 117 of them are checked in. So yeah, I'm a little confused. Because, like, in theory, they should be... Well, maybe they're a little early. It's not telling me. It just says cabin crew not yet on board. Which is a bad thing. But see, if I start the APU, I'm gonna, like, lose some points and stuff. But if I don't start the APU, then I can't get rid of the other equipment, which is also irritating. So I think I'm gonna have to take that chance, because if I do that, then I can kind of have GSX do its thing, which I assume... There we go. Okay, and yes, everything here is too small. So, because really, I think all I want to do is, you know, prepare for... Well, I mean, we'll request boarding, but we want to prepare for departure and all that. So if you've not joined up recently, or you're new to this channel, the series, thank you. Basically, I'm doing Pilot's Life. This is still in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So if you are wondering, that is because the PMDG aircraft are still not usable in 2024. Sim Update 1 just came out last week. Or actually this week. Well, now I guess it'd technically be last week at this point now. So that was something they indicated they were waiting for. So, but, it could still be months. I don't know. But most of my flying is still in Microsoft 2020. The only time I do anything in 2024 is just something really freeform to begin with, because most things don't quite work with it. I mean, NeoFly will, so I do use that. There are certain things I will use, but this plane will not run there, so I can't do that. But let's see. All right, so we have that ready to load. We'll execute that. Flight level 360 is where we're going. Again, departure, as I have it set, is going to be 35 with tag it. There we go. I'm like, something's not right, because it should give me a button. And then we're going to do ILS 12. We're just doing final, so we're not doing BMIG or OBSUC. And we're coming in on T-tag 2. So that should give us that. And then we'll just check for any discontinuities. Doesn't look like we really have any. I mean, yeah, we do have a vector and all that. All right, 120 are checked in. Just really hoping that everything is working as it should. So let's get ourselves on the APU. There we go.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. How are you this afternoon?
Hi there, I'm fine, thanks.
Great. We're just getting ready for departure, but if you need anything, just give me a call.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Alright, so we've got our handy-dandy aircrew, but the thing I can do at this point now is go back here. We can go back to the menu, and we can release ground power. Oops.
Hello.
Hello, Captain. Okay, so I've spoken to security and they've started checking in, but there's around another 10 minutes to go before we expect to be seeing any passengers.
Okay. Feel free to start boarding whenever they're ready to come on board. Let us know once you've started.
No problem.
Alright, so at this point I have gotten everything and saying GSX aboard the aircraft. Whoops. Okay, so I need to get rid of the loaders. Release those. That will get, everything set where I can then have GSX request boarding. So okay. So we're going to do Strategic Aviation Canada. There they all come. Alright. So now we've got our folks. Ground crew.
Go ahead.
I kept.
Alright, loud and clear. You're loud and clear is what I said. Now we're falling apart a little bit. We're going to yell Roger.
Roger!
Because that's what we've got. Alright, kind of get from this side. So we're waiting for loading to start. Alright, the doors are open, but it's not syncing up. Whoops.
Yep. Go.
Wow, I don't know why it keeps breaking up like this. That is odd. Alright, they've started loading. Alright, well, we're not attaching the pushback tug yet, I guess, because we're doing all the loading. Okay, boarding passengers now. Here comes the bus. So we're going to start to see, folks, things that are a little messed up here. These could be the other ones clearing out still. I'm not sure. But yeah, 121 are checked in. We'll see. I mean, they're... And this is where it's just odd. So yeah, it's saying it's synchronizing, but like we can see there's definitely some issues. I mean, because people are getting on board. So I always try to do this with GSX, but it just... let's see. No door open, cabin crew managing doors. So I don't know. I mean, they think the doors are closed. I'm gonna open the door in self-loading cargo. Alright. So now they're managing the doors. Okay, and now...
All stations.
Alright, it's just... this is frustrating because it's like partially working, partially not. But yes, it's showing things are loading and in progress. 7 people on board on self-loading cargo. So again, it's obviously, you know, we've got people getting on from here, but and you know, we're going to need another bus of people because I think the buses only take 90. So they'll be coming. Oh, now the intercom is making noise, but it didn't tell me anything.
Hello.
Hi, Captain.
We've started boarding passengers.
Thank you.
Somehow things are broken there again, so... Alright, 19 on board. 11 are seated, none are secured. We want to turn the seatbelt on. So I do need to... Now let me go to here and see what we can do. Fort McKay, Arctic 1749, requesting IFR to Edmonton.
This is what the ATC audio sounds like, and next
Whoop,
is what
whoop, whoop.
yours sounds like.
Oh boy. Alright, so I need to... Fort McKay, Arctic 1749. Yeah, I don't need to hear me. IFR to Edmonton. Alright. So... Let's see. Okay, we're going to re-enable ATC, but what I need is... let's see. Alright, so... Clearance 134025. So let's see, that's 025. And then we want to go 134. Alright. Fort McKay clearance, request IFR to Edmonton, Arctic 1749. Alright, am I going to get clearance? Lovely. Arctic 1749 requesting IFR clearance to Edmonton.
Clearance on request, stand by.
There we go.
Edmonton Center, King Air Golf Tango Juliet Sierra. We can cancel our IFR at this time. I'll have your clearance in just a second. Use well, Tango Juliet Sierra. Arctic 1749er cleared to Edmonton. After departure, fly radar vectors to Taggett, then as filed. Initial climb to 4,000. Departure on 135.7, squawk 1547. Expect runway 35. Release for departure. Clearance void if not off by 2222 Zulu. Time now 2207.
Cleared to Edmonton. After departure, fly radar vectors Taggett, then as filed. Initial climb 4,000. Departure 135.7, squawk 1547. Expect runway 35, released for departure. Clearance void if not off by 2222 Zulu. Arctic 1749. Alright, so at this point we can switch. We should be set. We're going to want to set ourselves to 4,000. So we are going to get something different here. But again, we've got plenty of time. So we're going to get our flight directors operating, our auto throttle operating. Get our RTO set. Let's check. We don't have any. Did we get a barometer reading? We did not. Let's see. Barometric pressure, please. Arctic 1749. I'm not sure if that's going to work, but let's see.
Arctic 1749er, Edmonton Center, Fort McKay, altimeter 29.88.
Alright, there we go. Cool. 29.88. So a little below standard pressure. But there we are. So we're all set there. But you can see we're kind of heading out that way.
Alaskan 413, expect runway 09er for landing. Expecting runway 09er, Alaskan 413.
Now why is it giving us another clearance? Interesting. It's telling me I'll have your clearance in a second on the window.
So make sure to fasten your seatbelt and move your seat.
Departure Arctic 1423, 3600, climbing 4000.
Alright, so we're going to welcome passengers.
Good afternoon from the cockpit. This is your captain speaking. I'd like to welcome you on board this afternoon as we fly to Edmonton. We're currently preparing for departure up here in the cockpit, and once we're airborne, we'll be climbing to our cruise level of 36,000 feet. We're not anticipating any delays, so we hope to be underway very shortly. Once we push back from the stand, the cabin crew will start securing the cabin. As we head to the departure runway, please make sure you're seated and secured as they make their way around the aircraft.
Just make sure everything...
The weather here in Fort McKay is looking very good, so we expect it to be a nice, comfortable climb up to our cruise level. Once we're airborne, there shouldn't be any issue during our climb. It's a pretty straightforward departure out of the airport, so nothing to worry about there. It looks as though the en route winds are in our favor, so there shouldn't be any issue getting to our destination on time. However, we will keep you informed throughout the flight if that changes.
Alright, it's changed.
If you could get
to
yourself seated and secured in the
5745.
meantime, we'll be able to make a departure as soon as everything is ready. Thank you very much for flying with us, and I hope you enjoy the flight.
So I'm seeing that in my say intentions interface. So yeah, it did change that on me. I don't understand. But at this point, departure's about 23 minutes. So just kind of getting all my other things set here so that I can see. Let's see, ground crew.
Cockpit to ground.
See if they speak to us properly. I don't know that I can do the APU at this point, but...
Go ahead.
Alright.
Stand by for ground power disconnection. We're starting the APU now.
Roger.
Alright, so it's still going to let us do that, so it didn't know we had it, so that's good. Alright, we have 125 seated, 125 checked in. Says there's 127 expected, so I don't know. I don't know that I've ever seen this happen. That what was expected is different than checked in. Like, everybody that's checked in is on the plane now. So, like, everybody has boarded. But it is a little interesting. So let's see. Alright, it will let us set those for now. It doesn't always. It depends on how we're facing and how everything else is worked up. And again, you know, we're 5.82 versus 5.87 because the APU is running off that one tank, so we've been running for a bit. See, now I'm surprised.
Cockpit
because,
to ground.
like, now I don't know. It's probably waiting for some signal, and...
Go ahead.
Okay. So, we're gonna please disconnect.
Please disconnect ground power.
Roger. Stand by, please.
November 245, Mike Charlie climb and maintain 10,000 feet.
Alright,
Climbing
so
to 10,000.
I want to make sure
November 245, Mike Charlie.
that I've got this on. We're going to turn the anti-collision on. We're going to get our pressure on. Turn our packs off. Get the bleed on so that we can start our engine shortly. Alright, ground power's
Roger.
been disconnected, it
Ground
told me.
contact.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Loading.
Loading is complete.
We'll contact you once the aircraft is close up, then we'll get moving.
Roger.
Alright. So we should be all set there. Getting ready for pushback. So yeah, I'm just not sure. Alright, so hopefully we'll be about set here.
Hello?
Hi.
Open the doors. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Feel free to open the doors whenever you're ready.
Thank you.
Oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Yeah, now we've got one more checked in, so there you go. They're on board now.
Hey, Edmonton, can we start our climb yet? Arctic 1423. Arctic 1423, climb and maintain 4,000 Nauru.
That was interesting. Alright. Are they going to tell us they're done? Now we have 127.
Hello?
Hi, Captain.
You doing
Okay, we've
over
received
there?
the load sheet from
Arctic
ground.
1423?
There's the passenger count, the crew count, and the total
Arctic
souls count.
1423,
Plus yourselves, of
affirmative.
course.
Everything is fine. How can
Thank you.
I assist you?
Okay, looks like we're all set to go whenever you're ready.
Okay, great. You can close the doors whenever you're ready.
Yeah, we're still chilling
Okay,
at 4,000
I'll let the
feet.
crew
Can
know,
we get
and
our
we'll get
climb?
closed up
Yes,
as soon as we
Arctic
can.
1423.
Alright.
Arctic 1423, climb and maintain 38000.
So we're going to wait door closure, because obviously... Okay, there we go. We're boarded a minute ago.
Ground contact.
Now we're off. They should be set.
Go ahead.
As a reminder, you're using stealth work to track your virtual airline flights you might want to start again.
Alright. It knows we're in pre-flight, so we're good. I'm going to move that off. Alright.
Thanks for the help. Pin straight ahead and we'll see you next time.
Alright, so now I want to prepare for pushback and departure. So that should hopefully... Okay, we don't want de-icing, I guess. Alright, so they're moving around here. Gonna start to get folks going. Alright, we're ready for pushback. So let's see, I need to check my actions on ground services. We'll remove the wheel chocks, because that is something we're going to need to be able to move.
Bravo Quebec Squawk 7654, identify.
I don't know why they're moving the doors at the back.
556 Bravo Quebec.
It's claiming there's movement on doors 3 and 4, or 2 and 3. Well, now 3 is green. Hopefully 2 will be green soon. Alright, it is. Thank goodness. And this is where, with all the moving parts, with GSX, with everything, sometimes there's just too much happening. Which is why it's such a challenge to
Ladies
get
and gentlemen,
a clean
welcome
flight.
on board this Walker Air Transport flight. We please ask your attention
And yes, I've
as
got
we
the
demonstrate the safety
Walker
features on this aircraft.
over it, so
Please make sure your bags
doesn't,
are
it
either
kind
in
of
the overhead
messes
compartment
things up a
or under
little
the seat
bit,
in
but
front of you. It's important to fasten your seatbelt, even when the sign is off, in case we pass through unexpected turbulence. During taxi, takeoff, and landing, please fasten your
alright,
seatbelt.
so I'm going to want the
Make sure your
tail
seat is in
to the
upright position.
left.
In case of a depressurization, oxygen masks will fall from above your seat.
Gonna
Please wear
release
yours
parking
first before helping
brakes.
children and others. In case of an emergency, there are doors in the front.
Alright, just want to make sure it was doing it right away, because yeah, there's not a lot of room here in this airport. So hopefully...
For further information, please read
And yeah,
the
you
safety
can't
information card
hear the
located in the seat pocket in front of you.
info otherwise.
With Walker Air Transport, we wish you to seat back, relax, and enjoy your
We
flight.
wish you to seat back. I'm glad they wish us to seat back. Stop pushing me. Come on. See, this is the concern. Like, if there were other planes, like, this would be a bit of a mess. Alright, let's see if I can... Alright, stop here and complete pushback. Okay. Alright, now we need to do the engine start, because with icing they wanted us to wait. So, let's get that going. Make sure, I think everything should be set on the panel. Okay, we're starting up here. Alright, get the engine going. So we'll start seeing that come up there. Yes, we know we're waiting for confirmation. You wanted me to wait to start the engines till I push back. But yeah, they remain connected, as far as I understand it, in case they need to then tow you back to the gate or something, then they can do so. They don't have to reconnect and do all that. Let's see. Alright, waiting for that to flip, that the engine's gotten far enough. There we go. Now we'll do other engine. So, get ourselves again up where we can see. Zoom out a bit. Then we'll turn the fuel cutoff on. And again, it should start spooling up soon. So definitely a little bit of noise. We got folks watching the plane as they should. So at this point, I think we can give them the go-ahead. No reason to think we're going to have problems. So we're going to confirm good engine start. Alright, so are they ready?
Hello.
Hi, Captain. Everyone's seated and secured for takeoff.
We're almost ready, so you can take your seats now.
No problem. All stations, seats for takeoff, please.
Alright, so we got cabin is secured.
November 245, Mike Charlie climb and maintain 10,000 feet.
I think we're doing okay.
Climbing to 10,000 feet.
So
November
they're
245, Mike Charlie.
pulling away. Everybody's starting to wander around. They're leaving the plane. Bypass pin removed. They're obviously going to come and wave us off shortly. They should really take all that stuff away, but they won't. So that's okay. Alright, we've got the transponder check. What I do need to do is get my landing lights on. Although they may get upset if I do that already. Alright, we're going to get ourselves onto regular power. And then we're going to get ourselves back to auto, turn the bleed off. Whoops, we forgot to set our cabin pressure. That would cause us some problems later. 36,000 feet is a long way to say we're set at 10. Okay, we're going to turn our taxi lights on. And we're now going to turn the APU off. Okay. So, I think we're okay. I didn't see the message, but I was busy doing stuff on my plane, so... Alright. So, let me, well, we just have to take off, so... So, let's get moving. Get to runway 35. Get ourselves set. There we go. I'm looking for that line. I was like, where is my line? Alright, 25's a little soft, so I'm going to speed up a bit. But we're going to get this flight off. So this is our 4th on the schedule. I am getting job offers in as I go, but I would think it would be kind of mean to just bail on your company right away. So I'm intending to finish my contract with Canadian North here. So contracts, I think, are 10 flights. So we've got a bit. I have been waiting because I do try to fly with real weather on this series, but the challenge ends up being, as you can see, it's cold. I mean, at least it's not snowing. There's not a blizzard. Edmonton is showing VFR conditions, but, you know, when I can fly... So last time I had flown, it was like early January, and it was pretty bad. I don't even remember if I, like, ended up having to turn the weather off just to give myself a chance to not crash. But, oh yeah, I forgot. I need one other thing running here. I need landing rate monitor running. So that will give me some points in Firefly Air. So we've started a new season there. I don't really do much. Well, I don't do anything on the channel. I guess I fly periodically. That's where I've done some stuff in 2024. Because all that requires me to do is fly, and I can use...
Remain clear of restricted area 2503.
I can use whatever plane I want.
Area 2503 Mooney 567
So,
Bravo Charlie.
a little challenging to turn on a runway here with the 737, but this is how it operates. So I am likely going to put my brakes on. I need my flaps set. I didn't do that. So that would make it much more challenging to take off. So we definitely don't want to do that. Alright. So, gonna put our brakes on. We're gonna now head over here, get our landing lights on. Alright. We're at 10, which actually might not be bad, because that'll give us a little bit more lift. Thing is, though, I might want to... Let's see. I don't think I had done this, so... Let's say the flaps are at 10. And there we go. We have a lot less needed to go there. Alright, we are set. So flaps are down. Wind is toward us. Nothing too crazy. But we are going to go. Come on. There we go. I'm like, what is happening? Alright, so we are spooled up. And we need to be at 117 for V1. Which we're almost there.
100 KTs.
Alright, so should be able to take off here. There we go. Gear up.
Positive rate. Gear up.
Yep. And then we want to immediately start. So I should be able to turn my autopilot on. Alright. So we're going to get our flaps up. That will allow us to accelerate. But there's the airport. We are literally turning around to head to Edmonton. But we made it off, so that's the most important thing. Alright, flaps are done. So we're getting configured. We're obviously turning onto course here. And heading off into the wild, cloudy blue yonder here.
402. Papa Echo, maintain 8500 traffic, 2 o'clock, 5 miles.
Maintaining 8500, looking for traffic. Cessna 402, Papa Echo.
Canadian 1205 Delta, Edmonton Center identified. Good morning.
Alright, so just let people know. Ladies
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope all is well with you and you enjoyed flying with us so far. We're currently climbing up to our cruising altitude of 36000 feet, so I thought I'd give you a quick update. We're making good progress towards Edmonton and expect to arrive on time as planned. You'll next hear from me just before we start our descent. I'll be sure to keep you updated if anything changes, but in the meantime, please feel free to relax and take advantage of our onboard facilities. Thank you.
Alright, so we're going to dial up to 36. I'm not getting air traffic from Say Intentions, so It's not what I'm expecting, but it looks like by tag it, we can be at 5,000. So let's see. Departure, Arctic 1749.
Arctic 1749 or Edmonton Center radar contact. Clear direct tag it, climb flight level 220.
Clear direct tag it, climb flight level 220. Arctic 1749. Now again, the plane won't override this. What I can do though, I think I can go put in 20000. Let's see. And again, what starts happening then is I do a little bit of V-speed. We climb. And then we change it back to VNav. And now it should start spooling up the engines and start going. So, not quite sure if there's a different way to do it, but that is how I've discovered that I can get the plane to respond again. It doesn't seem to automatically do that as well as we'd like to have it do it. How about that? So, yeah, I'm worried we've got a crazy angle here, but maybe not. I mean, but right now it's, yeah, 4,000 feet, but it's backing off. So at this point, yeah, we're at a pretty good pitch, but I would hope it's doing okay. So I do think we have a drink service on the plane, so that should come along at some point. I don't have my window up for that. Let's see. Alright, yeah, 9 minutes. We'll be offering drinks. That's all that's happening here.
Alpha Bravo traffic 10 o'clock 4 miles level at 90500.
Alright, and obviously once we get past 10,000, we can go faster. So, but I think, I mean, we're already at 90%. I think it's putting climb ahead of anything else. Alright, so the cruise release now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Gonna
and you are
head
now
there.
free to move around the cabin. However, be aware as we might pass through unexpected turbulence.
Alright.
Toilets are located in the front and on the back of this airplane.
So you should see the distance up on top. So I guess I'm gonna say that less often, but obviously just for my own
Ladies
check,
and
I'm
gentlemen,
looking at my...
The captain has turned off the seatbelt sign, which means you are free to move around the cabin. However, you are reminded that for your safety, we do recommend that you remain seated with your belt fastened at all times in case of turbulence or any other potential incidents that could occur during the flight. Thank you.
Alright, and hopefully we get the call earlier. Oh, see, it's a climb flight level 260. Climb flight level 260, Walker 40, Arctic 1479. Ugh, I'm used to Walker. Alright, so 260. Alright, well, we'll probably be okay. And it took Walker 40, which is what I said, because, yeah, I forget what my Walker, I think it's 4021 is my call sign for Walker, which is where I do a lot of the flying. But yeah, I guess now that we're heading into cruise, we're kind of getting into... well, I mean, we're climbing up, but we're kind of on autopilot. There's less needed for us at this point. Attention is a little less required on flying the aircraft and so forth. I was thinking about it.
1749er, climb flight level 330.
Climb flight level 330, Arctic 1479. So, you know, because there may be some thought about, okay, it's now March.
Edmonton Center, Arctic 1400, 5600 on the RNAV 31 approach. Arctic 1400, Edmonton Center, good evening. Fort McMurray, QNH 29.85.
So I do like, you know, the say intentions, background traffic.
1400.
So, you know, there are things we can do with traffic and so forth with it. I still don't regularly fly that way. It just seems to introduce a lot of issues. But yeah, one of the thoughts was that people might be like, it's March. It's now, you know, 5 months after the release. Are you disappointed that, you know, the state of things? And I don't know that I am. I understand the complexity, and I'm willing to give them a little bit of slack. I mean, I think maybe I'd feel obviously less so if I had constraints on my system where I could not have enough hard drive space to have 2020 and 2024 loaded at the same time. So I mean, the fact that I can go back to 2020.
UPS 461 heavy cleared for the Star arrival contact approach on 119er point tree.
Cleared for the Star, switching to 119er point tree, UPS 461 heavy.
All right. So, there's a Fort McMurray. I was wondering if it somehow was saying something wrong, but yeah, I guess it's Canada. There's a lot of stuff up here. So, yeah, so sadly, you know, in the world, you know, given that we're in theory flying for this airline for real in the world, I would think the pilots, as pilots here for Arctic, we'd be a little upset with the political situation with tariffs
Arctic
on and off
1749er,
Canada.
climb flight level 360.
Climb flight level 360, Arctic 1479. Alright, so now we're cleared to the top. You know, so it's the on again, off again thing. I know it's irritating everybody in real life, and it should be. I couldn't even begin to explain, so if you are a non-US listener, I guess even if you are a US listener, you know, I get it. You know, people will have their opinions, and mine is I don't know that we should be doing things like this to an ally and so forth. So not in huge agreement with how things are operating, but you know, people voted and we got what we got. So we'll leave it at that. But you know, those would be the realities I think that folks would have. I know myself, you know, I'm trying to do some things with regard to some things we own with Disney that we can rent some points and stuff like that. And it is more challenging to do that at this point. I actually had a family from Ireland that was going to do some stuff in September, and they decided with the situation they were not sure they were going to continue. So, you know, I've had a personal impact of things kind of falling apart because people are scared to come because they just don't know what the situation's going to be, especially, you know, when you're planning something like that out into September, you know, 6 months from now. Who knows what the landscape's going to look like and who we've gotten upset and whatever. So, and sometimes, you know, I know there's a lot of Canadians who are just, I'm not spending anything or doing anything to help the U.S. given how they're treating us. And, you know, I know a lot of trips have been canceled, this, that, and the other. So we're not necessarily hitting, you know, we're not going to the U.S. in this flight, but, you know, heading down to Edmonton, you know, there might have been somebody who was like, yeah, we're heading there, and suddenly this flight might be a little bit lighter because of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, we will be starting our in-flight drink service in a few moments. If you could please clear all aisles and ensure that any bags are placed in the overhead lockers, it would be most appreciated. Thank you.
So, we are... Oh, I see. The distance is 253, but it's not actually telling me how close we are on my pilot's life interface. See, I thought that was telling me
Virgin
253,
875, reduce speed to 220 knots for sequencing.
but it's not.
Reducing to 220 knots, Virgin 875.
But we're at OBTAG, so let's see. Let's look at our flight plan here. So basically, interesting. So
Arctic
T-tag.
1749er, expect a
Alright.
TTAG 2 arrival. In about 15 minutes, I'll start your descent.
Alright, that's us. Okay. Expect T-tag 2 arrival, Arctic 1479. Alright, but with that info, we're going to let the passengers know some stuff. We're going to let our crew know some stuff, too, that we're descending in about 15 minutes, so... Come on, crew. Of course, they're in the middle of drink service, so now that I say that...
Hello, Captain.
15 minutes.
Just to let you know, there's around 15 minutes to go until we start descending.
No problem.
So, yeah, let me look. Descent. Progress. There we go. Well, that's top of climb. But, well, I hope they're right. Alright. Now we'll let the passengers know.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope you're enjoying the flight so far. Just to keep you updated, we look to be making good progress and are expecting to arrive on time as planned. We'll keep you posted if anything changes, but in the meantime, enjoy the remainder of the flight, and I'll speak to you again once we're about to start our descent. Thank you.
Alright. So, I mean, 15 minutes is a long time in a plane. We'll travel a long way. I mean, we've only got about 30 miles to the top of climb, but basically it won't let me give the information about descent yet. So while I'm doing that, let me go... Because see, it just won't even tell me, because it's telling me how far I am from top of climb. Like, the flight management computer hasn't even cleared that up, so...
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to serve our drink selection.
I'm glad we didn't have to cancel that with the time, because sometimes, obviously, if they...
around the cabin, please
Well,
clear
let
any
me
items
wait.
from the aisle and make sure your tray table is in the down position. Thank you.
So yeah, without the... sometimes you'll call and they'll cancel all the other actions because they know they can't get done in that time, but... Drink service to 120 people shouldn't be that terribly challenging. So, you know, the trash collection and all might be a little bit later, but they don't, I don't think, deal with that. So I'm sure as long as we had, you know, 10 minutes or something, we were probably okay. So, definitely a slow climb, but snowy Canada down below there. I like that. I don't know, I'm probably more partial to this one than the red livery that we have normally, but, you know, obviously the company will do, you know, paint each aircraft the way it wants to paint them. Alright, 33,000. I mean, because I think I can tell them, like, hey, it'll be 10 minutes, but I need that information so that I can be a little more accurate, because I do get scored on that. I mean, the bar, as far as it shows, is probably getting to 33. Probably getting to 33%.
2503, Mooney 567, Bravo Charlie.
Center, Delta 227 Heavy with you, flight level 350. Affirmative, Delta 1834 would like flight following to Rio.
Like Rio de Janeiro? I don't think so, but I just thought that was a little funny when I heard that, so... Yeah, we'll have to see. This is one of those, I guess I do tend to just stay on, leave the entire episode here, because it's supposed to be you know, the pilot's life, and we're doing the whole thing. So, and the flights aren't incredibly long, but I do feel to some degree like there's not a lot happening once we're airborne. That's just the nature of flights. And let's see, what does it say? Does it give me a time? I forget. I don't know that it does. I think I have to point. All right, 22.7% of the seats are served. And that's probably in a couple minutes, so that's not bad. But we're within 1,000 feet. We're going to get the warning, the tone soon. It is giving me ILS 12 on my runway feed in say intentions, so everything is going according to the plan, the flight plan that I've submitted. But, you know, we're slowing down on our climb. We're just at barely 1,000. And that I think is per minute, so it's going to take probably a good 30-40 seconds to finish these last few feet. And then we'll have to descend probably almost immediately, but it does seem to have been a relatively smooth flight. Alright, so there we go. We're getting to VNAV path. Even pilot's life can tell we're at cruise. It's telling me the flight stage is now cruise. So let's see if I can do anything now. All right.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope you're enjoying the flight so far. We'll be starting our descent in approximately 10 minutes.
No, I hope that's
The weather in Edmonton is looking good, so it should be a nice, easy approach into the airport.
Sure, 62.
We're not expecting any delays, so we should be able to land fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Once we do begin our descent,
8 minutes,
please listen to the cabin crew carefully and pay attention to any instructions they provide. Please also monitor the seatbelt sign during our approach. Thanks for flying with us, and I'll speak to you again soon.
And we're about 40. We're about 40 miles on the display there, so put me at 23. That'll probably be fine. But since we got 62 miles to the descent start, that would be off my scope right now.
Delta 1562, expedite descent to flight level 240, traffic ahead. Expedite descent to flight level 240, Delta 1562.
Summit 81901, Edmonton Center identified. Good morning.
You know, and at this point, our ground speed's 459, so that's definitely pretty nice. So we're eating up distance pretty well. Let me see if I move my window. Alright, so yeah, we have 134 of our 253 is what Navigraph is giving me here. And yeah, 50 nautical miles. Still 22:56, so in about 6 minutes. And again, they can keep doing drinks while we're descending, but they're already 56.2% done. So I wouldn't be surprised if by the time we get to the descent location that they are ready to go. The other thing that is definitely probably of interest for anyone interested in flight sim or whatever is the apparent increase in incidents with aircraft since 2025 started. You know, we had that horrible crash outside of DC, the other one by Philly. We've had some near misses or some collisions. I saw there was something where an aircraft was trying to take off, frankly, in winds. I mean, even I listened to the ATC on that, and Tower was like, I assume you can't handle the winds, and the pilot's like, no, we can do it. And they basically like ran into the grass, and they think they hit their wing as they tried to correct and so forth, had to abort the takeoff, but it like shut the whole airport down. I don't remember what airport that was offhand, but it had to be annoying to ATC because, again, the pilot's kind of in charge of the aircraft, and if they tell you they can handle it, you know, your goal is to keep traffic out of the way. But
Arctic 1749er, descend via TTAG 2 into Edmonton.
descend via TTAG 2 into Edmonton, Arctic 1749. Okay, we've got a ways to go yet. You can see the top of descent finally has appeared. But at this point, yeah, we're at like 30 some miles, so we're going to be at like 90 or 80. The airport's at about 2,500 feet, I think. I think they gave me the barometer. It's telling me it's 2950. I don't know if that's accurate, but we'll dial that in because that's what I've got. But I think that will certainly make things a little bit different. I mean, again, we got a little bit, and I'm sure they'll call it in. If I head over, Fort McKay was 2985. I guess I'm not sure I got any other barometric pressure yet, so that may be all we have. All right, green bar, very, very close.
Delta 723 Foxtrot, Lima, remain at or below 5,000.
Remaining at or below 5,000, Cessna 723 Foxtrot, Lima.
But yeah, we've got 66 miles to
Edmonton Center,
T-tag.
Delta 227 Heavy. We had requested flight level 350.
So there are definitely a lot of things they're adding to say intentions. Some multiplayer traffic, so basically that I could, people that were actually flying around me at the time, it will pass that over to us, which is pretty cool. Again, I'm not using that right now. I don't have that enabled, but those are the kind of features they're working on. So definitely pretty fancy stuff. I go back and forth. Obviously, you know, Beyond ATC was a one-time purchase. I still own it, but I really, like, when I fly, I've just been using Say Intentions. The other thing I do really want to get back to is the VFR around the world flights that was using the tour manager. That was really cool. And so that's definitely entered my mind. So those of you who have enjoyed those and have been wondering what's happening there, like I said, I'll usually be pretty thorough and come back eventually and say, hey, this is officially ending, I'm done, until you hear further notice. That was not the case, but some of it was waiting for 2024 to get where it needed to be, because once again, it's a add-on plane. We still don't have access to the marketplace, things like that, so we can't use any of those planes cleanly within the sim. And I'm not one of those that I want to push the envelope, because I know some people have tried on various planes, like, well, let me just put it in my community folder and load it, and it works with some things, but it doesn't with others, and so it just, you know, doesn't make a lot of sense. All right, we are below 100 nautical miles from the airport. Again, the way we're coming in, we're going to end up making a left turn onto 1-2. So, you know, it's not a straight-in approach, but I think, yes, a T-tag, I think we're gonna change and head in. So I did learn one thing, because I know every time they change a star or a SID, they increment the number, and I was like, you know, I've never seen like a 10 or a 15, but yeah, when they get to 9, then they circle back to 1, I guess, and that's how it works. And it's kind of, you know, the same argument you'd have with anything, that, you know, you don't necessarily want to count up infinitely, and that the difference from 1 to 9 is probably going to be decades, because it's not as if they change SIDS and stars that often. Okay, so there we go. Our descent has begun at 22:56. So they're not quite done with the drink service. They haven't. The line hasn't gone away, but they're close, I'm sure. So it looks like it's full. So if it's not, it's going to be like 99 something. Let's see. Oh, it says 100% of seats. 100 and wait, how did we end up with 100? It says 128 out of 128, but there's only 127 passengers. So
Crossing Miler at flight level 310, Spirit 117.
maybe someone got a little extra. I don't know. All right. So we are going to be, does it tell me when we'll be landing? 23:13. So that is what? 2013, about 15 minutes. So we'll go ahead and mention that. Descent starting.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. As you've probably noticed, we've started our descent into Edmonton. Depending on the destination air traffic, we should be landing in around 20 minutes. In the meantime, I will be instructing the cabin crew to get the cabin ready for our arrival. Once that happens, the seatbelt sign will be illuminated, and you will be required to stay seated and secured until after landing. If you need to visit the toilet, it may be worth making your way towards one now. You'll next hear from me after landing, so I will wish you a very good afternoon once again, and I'll speak to you in a short while.
All right. So, I mean, we've been given clearance to descend via T-tag. So, suppose I should look at T-tag and see if there's any specific directions. Let's see. Yeah, there's no height. Actually, it's Setbu. We're supposed to be below 19, flight level 190. But yeah, then we're going, and then Meepot, we want to be above 5,000. But let's see. So let's go to the legs here. Yeah, 5,000 above. T-tag, we're going to be at 17. It's telling me, you know, it's 20 miles away. So, all right, at this point, we're going to go ahead and kind of get ourselves a little bit configured. Probably put my landing rate monitor up. Sometimes I try to not do it because, you know, just immersion-wise, you obviously don't have this little floating window in your airplane normally, but you know, I know people obviously want to see things, so but we're moving along at a pretty good clip. Whoops. Yeah, speaking of a pretty good clip, let me get this lowered so that we're not, we know we need to be at 5,000, so we'll go there. That's our next thing that I'm worried about, that I don't want to descend below. So we will adjust that appropriately. Looks like they're trying to decelerate. So let me see. Yeah, I have 316 at T-tag, so in theory, I don't need to, but it is, for whatever reason, slowing down the descent. But I'm assuming, no, it's going slower. I thought it was going to go to 280, but
United 758,
it might just be trying to drop itself.
Speed to 200 knots.
It might be trying to drop itself to 250.
Separation. United 758.
Alright, I need to lower that. Yeah, I guess we need to be below 190. Goodness. But that's way over there. So that shouldn't matter. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why it's choosing to slow this much. Because, yeah, I think it's literally trying to get us to 190, but that's going to cause us some issues, because we're technically not going to be below 19 at T-tag the way this is going, so I'm worried this is going to make this really difficult. But I think to help, I'm going to get my speed brake up. Because that will also let us descend with some things working a little bit quicker. But yeah, I mean, I'm technically higher than I should be here. So we're not really descending per T-tag. But yeah, it took me all the way down to 190.
Contact Edmonton Center on 134.7.
Contact Edmonton Center 134.7, Arctic 1749. Whoops. Alright, let's change that. Edmonton Center, Arctic 1749, flight level 230, descending to 5,000.
Arctic 1749er, Edmonton Center identified. Good evening.
Okay. Alright, why is this not... Like, something is screwy here. I need to descend. Like, it is not doing what it should be doing. Alright, and now it's going to let itself speed up, and it's going to do something ridiculous, and then I'm going to get in trouble. But hopefully the speed brakes will keep things going. But yeah, because I mean, at some point I need to be below, I need to be, you know, yes, above 5,000, but I need to be able to land, for goodness sakes.
Arctic 1749er, Edmonton Center, descend altitude 6,000, turn left, heading 120 vectors for the ILS runway 12 approach.
Descend altitude 6,000, turn left, heading 120 vectors for the ILS runway 12 approach. Arctic 1749. Yeah, because now we're going 7 degrees. I'm probably going to get in trouble for that. So, yeah, at this point, we're going to turn the seatbelts back on. Because we are going to be a bit aggressive here. We're going to change that. That will drop us further. That's good. So at least now we're kind of catching up. And so then again, that may allow us to slow down.
Direct to fix it, Qatar 351 heavy.
But at least we've caught up to where we should
Northern
be.
113, descend and maintain 7700.
So, I just don't know why it's trying to go to...
Contact Edmonton Center on 134.9er.
I don't know why it's trying to get to 316 other than for spacing. Alright, because yes, now it knows it needs to go to 190 for MEPOT, so you can see the throttle is pulling back a bit. At least I hope it is. Although the deceleration isn't for a while.
Contact Edmonton approach on 120.5.
Edmonton approach 120.5. Arctic 1749. Edmonton approach Arctic 1749. Flight level 14,000 descending to 6,000. I need to turn on my landing lights. Okay.
Arctic 1749er, Edmonton approach identified. Good evening, Edmonton altimeter 29.50. Expect the ILS runway 12 approach into Edmonton. Arctic 1749er, Edmonton approach 20 miles from my pot. Turn right heading 190, descend altitude 5,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 12 approach.
Turn right heading 190, descend altitude 5,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for ILS runway 12 approach. Arctic 1749. So yeah, I was going to say, last I had heard 9,300 was broken clouds, but it looks like maybe they've risen a bit. We are now descending. 5 degrees isn't crazy. It's not great, though. I mean, that deceleration seems very close to Meepot. I don't know. I mean, because at this point, like, yeah, I need to... I mean, the speed brakes will help, because then it should drive me down, hopefully. Come on. Man, I'm just not comfortable with how this is flying. Because I really should be at 250 here. It's telling me it's locked in on the glide path, which is a little bit interesting. But if it is, I guess that's a good thing. Now again, it could be 8,000 in Canada, as opposed to 10,000, if I remember actually. So that may be why it's gone further down. So yeah, we want the secure cabin, and then they should be telling us about, you know, that, and then I can tell them to take their seats for landing. But at this point, we're moving along at a pretty good rate here. We're 15 miles from the airport. Alright, we're gonna start lowering the flaps and the gear.
American 1555, contact approach 125.8.
So all of that should...
125.8, American 1555.
Will slow us down. Again, normally we would have
928
descended.
Heavy. Edmonton departure, radar contact. Cleared direct Andy, climb flight level 220.
Clear direct Andy, climb flight level 220.
Alright, well, I'm going to tell them if they're... I don't know why they're not securing the cabin, but...
Arctic 1749er, contact Edmonton Tower on 118.3.
Edmonton approach,
How are things
American
going?
7033 afternoon, descending through 14,000.
Okay, thank you. I'll speak to you in a bit.
Contact Tower
Thanks very
118.3.
Descend and maintain 6,000, right heading 315 for the ILS runway 1.
Oops. Edmonton Tower 118, Arctic 1749, ILS 12.
Arctic 1749er, Edmonton Tower, roger.
Alright, we're lowering the flaps because we need to go a lot slower. Hopefully we'll be able to pull this off, but man...
Arctic 1749er, Edmonton Tower, winds 165 at 9er, runway 12, cleared to land.
So we are slowing very fast, which is good. Runway 12, cleared to land. Alright, let's see. Descent. Let's see. 127, so I want to be down to like 135-ish. Okay. think we'll be alright, but man. So...
Cabin crew, seats for landing, please.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing, but my cabin crew did not do a good job, I'll tell you that.
It's a land, Valkyrie 363.
Alright, well, somehow...
3 Lankan 363, negative. You are cleared for ILS approach, runway 27, winds 270 at 4, runway 27, cleared to land.
So, we're going to be at 1,000 feet here. Like, we definitely came in here. This is a lot crazier than it should have been. Alright, did I already? I thought I already gave them... No, I already gave them seats for landing, but it's not giving me credit for that. Alright, so... Coming in... Should be okay. So, 600... Gonna be at 500 pretty soon. About 2 miles out. Alright. So, we're gonna take that off.
001 Bravo, hold at taxiway Alpha traffic on final. Holding at taxiway Alpha Skyhawk 90001 Bravo. Air Canada 889er, contact departure.
Switching to departure, Air Canada 889er.
Avid 928, contact departure.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
That was a very light,
Arctic
very light
1749er,
landing, but
contact
that
ground
worked.
on 121.7.
Contact ground 121.7, Arctic 1749. Alright, there's our exit. So yeah, according to my landing was too smooth. That's pretty funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened
So we'll get
until
everything
the aircraft
up.
is parked and the fasten seatbelt sign is off. Please be careful while opening the overhead compartment, as items might have fallen.
So yeah, so the landing too smooth in self-loading cargo. The automatic systems won't always trigger if you don't have enough of a touchdown. Because yeah, I think it's literally telling me that I was at -8 according to self-loading cargo. Like I was going down 8 feet a minute when I touched the runway, which is nuts. Okay.
Cabin crew, please disarm doors and cross-check.
But let's see. Edmonton ground, Arctic 1749.
Captain turns off the seatbelt sign. Once that happens, we will start deboarding, and you'll be able to leave the aircraft. Thank you.
Arctic 1749er, Edmonton ground, go ahead.
Arctic 1749, taxi to ramp. Walker, that's it. Oh well. Edmonton ground, Arctic 1749, request taxi to gate. So let's
Arctic
see.
1749er, taxi to gate via Alpha 1. Alpha, Oscar. Have a good day.
Taxi to gate via Alpha 1, Alpha, Oscar. Arctic 1749. Alright, so these aids I don't mind, because again, I'm in airports I'm less familiar with. I'm not going for like super realism. So this is something Say Intentions does by default. No reason in my mind to turn it off. And there is the terminal. So I'm assuming Alpha 1 may have been where we exited. I'm guessing this is Alpha.
Gulfstream 671, Gulf Sierra, hold position, traffic on final approach.
Holding position, Gulfstream 671, Gulf Sierra.
Because it's not giving us a specific, not giving us a specific gate that I know of, but, well, you know, that's where, again, the arrows will help. Alright, so we're at 17. I don't want to go too fast, so we'll back off the throttles a bit. 19, 20, kind of once we exceed 20, that will be bad, so we hit 21, but I hit the brakes. We're back to 21. We'll hit the brakes a little more. But 4 of our 10 flights are now completed. We have done it successfully. I'm happy. We'll see what our ultimate pilot's life score will be and all of that, but we've obviously got to get to the gate. My goodness, where is it taking us? All the way around the airport, maybe? Clear that. Alright, we've got our flaps. Everything is good. It may be taking us around to the opposite side. Who knows? Because right now, it's not parking us. It's not taking us off of this. I mean, we got to go to Oscar, so I'm guessing that's like the other taxiway. So I've got a long way to go if that's where it's taking me, but we'll see. Now we're down to 17, so speed up a bit because engines are only at 21%, which basically means there's no thrust. Okay, so there's some. Then it does look like maybe it does turn toward the gate pretty quickly, so. Alright. So we're going to back this off. Start to make that turn. Because, yeah, now it's then bringing us in here. And, alright, we'll just go where it tells us. Alright, looks like this will be our gate. So, not the best direction, but I see where I'm going, and I can't make that sharp of a turn, so we're going to kind of do it this way. Alright, so I am kind of all the way back, in all honesty. The jetway's kind of disconnected. It's not great. But let's request boarding. Oh, yeah, we can't do that yet. So we need to shut the engines off. Then I can request boarding. Alright, so I have to remember to submit my flight. Alright, request deboarding. Ground to cockpit. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Tornado 892 Tango Oscar, proceed to holding point Charlie 2 via taxiway Echo
Loud
and
and clear.
Foxtrot.
Proceeding to holding point Charlie 2 via Echo and Foxtrot. Tornado 892 Tango Oscar.
Stand by. Circuiting you offloaded in a couple of minutes.
WestJet 738, push and start approved.
Roger.
Face north.
Push and start approved. Face north. WestJet 738.
Alright, so we're clear
Cabin
to
crew.
deboard.
The aircraft is secure. Please open the doors when ready and begin deboarding.
Alright, and then I should be able to...
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you don't
Alright,
forget any items on this plane. If
so
you
yeah,
need
we'll
any
request
help, our
ground
staff
power.
will be punctual to give you any assistance. We wish you a pleasant onward journey.
And then we will thank everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed your flight this afternoon, and I'd like to wish you a safe onward journey. We'll see you again soon. Thank you for flying with Arctic.
All right. So let's see. If I go to my logbook, I thought it would have given me my my information, but let's just see. I'll let you know. So, yeah, initial approach, my max airspeed was too high, so I got 3 of 5. And then I didn't turn my landing lights off. But other than that, I didn't lose any points, so I only lost 3 points for the entire thing, so that's pretty good. But yeah, we came in pretty hot, so not the greatest result. We're obviously now waiting also to get our self-loading cargo report, so that will take a little bit. And we'll see from there. Alright. They're gonna tell me we're done.
Hello.
Hello, Captain.
Alright, well, I'm just now
We
I'm
do
giving
try
them
our
a thank
best.
you. So we didn't get the last part, but yeah, we got a B plus, 1482 out of 1655. So
Go ahead.
They're obviously cleaning the plane.
As a reminder, if you're using software to track your virtual airline flight, you may want to finalize your flight now if you haven't already done so.
Roger.
Alright, so I'm going to my report. Yeah, so max climb. Yeah, I exceeded the airspeed below 10,000. I had a little bit of vertical speed that wasn't great. My taxi hold announcement, they claimed I was holding. We didn't prepare the cabin for arrival. They're claiming that.
Air 145 Kilo Alpha Cross,
That's it.
runway tree 1 left contact tower for further instructions.
So you can
Crossing
see
runway tree 1 left,
just
will
about
contact tower King Air
deboarded here.
145 Kilo Alpha.
Blue Star 1, Edmonton ground, push and start approved. Information Oscar is current.
But yeah, my last flight was a D minus, so this was much, much better. But yeah, very, very controlled.
Request taxi to gate Alpha 80.
So we'll see how quickly I can do these normally. But yeah, we're going to be heading from Edmonton. So basically the same thing, Edmonton to Fort McKay, Edmonton to Fort McKay, and then we're going back from Calgary to Fort McKay, and then the last things in my contract, these are longer. They're 564 nautical miles. They're over twice as long as this flight from Edmonton to McKay. So at that point, you know, those are my, from Terrace Northwest Regional, wherever that, Terrace Northwest Regional to Calgary and back. So those will be my last ones. But while we're waiting for this to finish, I'll bring this back over. So you can see we've got Air Vanuatu, Bahamas Air, Enter Air, Lux Air, Swift Air. So I mean Bahamas Air I assume is in in the Bahamas. Vanuatu, I assume, is obviously near that nation, but I do not know the others. I'd have to look and see where they're at. But, you know, like I said, we're getting offers, but I think taking them before you finish the contract, I would imagine that earns you a bit of a reputation that you'd probably prefer not to have.
Ground copy.
Go ahead.
Alright, so all bags have been offloaded. We're closing up. Alright, so even though that's not fully true, I guess, from GSX, but we're not synced with GSX, so. Alright, so at this point I am going to exit self-loading cargo. That will stop that. Alright, so we have made it here to Edmonton. Hope you've enjoyed the journey. You know, glad to have some flight sim back on the channel. It's been a bit because I've been focused on golf and life and other things, so hope you've had fun. If you haven't dropped a like or are not yet a subscriber, please consider those things. That greatly help as we've got the loaders moving away. Planes should start closing up the cargo doors, and we should be good to go. The back is closed. There we go. The front is closed. We've got a nice looking plane now. Nice
All
line.
aircraft be
Ready
advised,
to
information golf is now current. Altimeter 2950.
So I will get say intentions off. That will quiet things down there. But yeah, please do those things. They're greatly appreciated. And I will see you next time.